Hello, friends. I'm Kalyani.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
madam.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So, this is a special day for us because we have different groups of people joining us today. One is the present batch students at TESS. The other is the past batch students at TESS who got seriously disappointed because of the sudden coming of COVID. In this batch, we are all better equipped to handle the situation. And today, we also have people who have joined us from outside. If I'm not audible, can you please turn on the volume of your speaker? Or you can use headphones. Generally, everybody, you're hearing me, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
ma'am.
So there are former students, last batch students, current batch students, people who are not at all students of mine or anywhere, all kinds of people joining us today. Today, I thought I'll open this session up to everybody because this is an experiment to see how far we can be interactive in an online class. Online classes can be very boring also because the teacher does not see the students in front of him or her, because the students do not see each other. You might fall asleep, your attention might waver. So this is a big learning for all of us, including me, of course, to test how far we can maintain our concentration. One important thing, if there is any distraction at your house or wherever you're sitting, will you please switch off your mic? When you have to speak, you can switch on the mic and immediately switch off so that the quality of the video will be maintained. Okay? So it is wonderful to see all of you. Our batch has started here this time with a series of overviews. Because it is online, people from across the country at different levels. For the first time in this batch, we have lots of people who have not passed MA, who are still doing MA. Some people are still doing their BA, some course, some people are doing their MA course. It's wonderful. It's a big challenge for me to cater to all kinds of people at the same time. It is a big experiment and a big challenge. I am learning perhaps more than all of you. So I love it. And let us all, because of this experience, become much better teachers. Of course, you will pass this exam that you're writing, but apart from that, qualitatively, technique-wise, you will perhaps learn a lot of things from this interaction we will have. It is extremely important to keep the class alive and, not adopt the lecture method, isn't it? So I think, yeah, we are streaming on YouTube also today publicly. You can watch from YouTube also if you want. Even if you miss the Zoom class, or even if your network connectivity is not good, it doesn't matter. So I am not just wasting time with a lot of such observations. Let us just go on to the presentation that I have here. It is a game that I usually play everywhere I go. And through the game, we will learn. What we'll be doing here is play a game. And it is also to show you how you can make exciting and interesting classroom activities out of perhaps boring topics. That is also what I'm doing here. You should all make games like this. You should all turn very dry subjects into fun subjects so that people will be motivated to read and more. What happens in the classroom is not actually teaching. What happens is what the teacher does is motivate the students to read on their own, learn on their own. I believe that there is nothing called teaching. There is only learning. And the task of the teacher motivate the students to learn. And it is not like I know everything and I'm telling you everything and you have to learn everything from me. If you miss some point or one PowerPoint or one slide, or if there is some network issue, then you lose that much. You will never learn that much. It is not like that. It is not like that. The actual thing is always done by you. I always tell all my students, 10% me, 90% you. I cannot do the 90%. If you depend on me to do the 90%, you will be actually missing out on a lot. The most wonderful thing is to learn on our own, by ourselves, to read and enjoy and appreciate. I'm just giving you the method. I'm just giving you the milestones. Everything in American literature I cannot cover in one day. I cannot cover in 1 month. Even if I lecture for a 1 year, you can still learn other things that I don't know, that I did not teach, isn't it? So the concept of teacher as the center of the class has been challenged before. Now it has completely come into practice. The teacher is not the center because of online education. I think the most important benefit that has come to us because of COVID is in the realm of education. It is in the realm of education. Education is going to completely change for the better. And as teachers, it is extremely important that we talk about this and we, muse upon, think about it, and we develop new strategies that suit the contemporary scenario in education. So that is why I'm doing this today. Occasionally, when my batch, when the students who are doing a batch are getting bored and they are not getting the motivation from me, occasionally I think we can try out this. If not in the main class, we will do an extra class like this so that everybody can join, and it will be great fun. I want to tap the maximum out of such opportunities that online education is giving us. Okay, so I hope by now a lot of people would have joined, and I suppose they'll keep joining, doesn't matter. Let me go on to show you my screen and share with you the game that I have here. I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, very good. Now this session is going to be very, very interactive. Usually I ask a lot of questions at the beginning of the class. Today I'm going straight into the game because I can ask questions in between. It is going to be interactive. Whoever wants to talk can switch on their mic and talk. Don't keep your mic on all the time because the noise will come through. So when you have to speak, please feel free to speak. Okay. So this is identify game. You have to identify what I'm showing. Before I talk about the first question in the game or the first aspect in the game, let us look at this slide itself. This opening slide, you can see the map of the United Kingdom and you can see the eagle, which is a symbol of the United States of, not United Kingdom, the map of United States of America. You can see the symbol of the eagle, which represents America, and the bald eagle it is. All of you know that America is a land of white settlers. White people went and settled down in America. There was the natives who were living in America, the Red Indians they were called, the Native Americans. They were pushed to the west. If this is the map of America, the whites all came and settled here in the northeastern region, and they pushed the Red Indians or the Native Americans to the west. And slowly, entire America became white, isn't it? So that is the story behind it. Now let us come to the slide. First, in the game, the first question is, who is this author? Can you identify this author?
Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, just wait till I complete my clues and everything. This is the man who has been called the first citizen of America, the first citizen of America. You know, Benjamin Franklin appears on $100 note. We all know
Washington.
Benjamin Franklin from school. Do you know how? We know Benjamin Franklin from school days. Have you heard about Benjamin Franklin from school days? Tell me somebody.
Scientist.
I didn't hear.
He's a scientist.
Exactly. He's a scientist. He experimented with
Physicist.
electricity. Physicist he was. He experimented with physics. Not only physics, he experimented with society also. Physics and society both he did, and also politics. He was a politician and he was involved in the very important thing that happened in the 18th century in America. What happened in the 18th century in America? One political event.
American Revolution.
American Revolution.
American Revolution.
American Revolution happened in the 18th century. My students of this batch, don't keep quiet. You should also speak, okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Like usual, I will call out your names otherwise, so that everybody will know who my students are. All right. Everybody should speak. Who are not, those who are not my students should also speak. I mean, my batch students, they should also speak. Okay. So in the 18th century, American Revolution happened. The American War of Independence. From whom did America get independence?
English.
Yeah,
British.
the British government. They were
Yes.
all British people. They were mostly British people. Some French people were also there, especially in the northern parts of America. And the people were fed up with the government taxing them. They wanted freedom. And once the government introduced one act by which they had to buy a paper on which the government seal was there. Or for all activities in the American soil, they had to pay money and wait, let me finish speaking. They had to pay money and buy a paper with the government seal on it. In which year did it happen? What is this called? What is this act called?
Stamp Act
Correct. Stamp Act. In which year?
1765.
1765. Correct. Stamp Act 1765. Because there are so many of you, just wait till my blah, 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 blah talking gets over and I will stop and then you speak. Okay. Otherwise there will be confusion. Okay. Thank you. So Benjamin Franklin lived during the American Revolution. One important, even at the beginning of the revolution, was the Stamp Act of 1765. And another thing happened. Americans drank a lot of what?
Tea.
Tea. Okay.
Yeah.
They drank beer and other things also, but right now I'm going to talk about tea. And the
Yes.
government put a big tax on tea. So they threw the tea caskets into the ocean and they protested. That event is called
Boston.
Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party. That is called Boston Tea Party. And all these were done by the white people. The original white people, the first white people who came to America were explorers, travelers. You know that one man came in the 15th century. One man came near American mainland. He landed in the Caribbean islands and he discovered America. Who is that man?
Christopher Columbus.
Now, when I teach, listen to me. When I teach, I tell everybody, I will give you just clues and keywords. It is your duty to write down these keywords and look it up in the internet, look it up in books, read about it. That is how you should study. If I tell you everything, you are not going to remember one thing. Secondly, I cannot tell you everything. There will be so much more in books and internet also, right? So every day when you listen to a lecture, write down the keywords. Okay, Christopher Columbus. You think you know about Christopher Columbus, but even then you should search a little bit for 5 minutes. You should read about Christopher Columbus and you should search Christopher Columbus in literature like that, in case there is some important book where he's a character or something, or you know, in a famous novel, what is that novel? Annie John. Annie John, Christopher Columbus is mentioned. Look it up today itself. Okay, in Annie John, Christopher Columbus is mentioned. Look it up today itself. Do you know who wrote Annie John?
Jamaica.
Jamaica Kincaid.
Jamaica
Jamaica
Kincaid.
Kincaid is correct. Jamaica Kincaid wrote Annie John. Look it up. And please don't draw on the screen, and also mute your mic unless when you're speaking. Right. Listen. Please mute your mics. Okay, let us come back to Benjamin Franklin. You know that Benjamin Franklin was a scientist, and we heard about him in school days. Look at this. He's one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. He's called the first American, the first citizen of America, the first American for supporting the cause of colonial unity. All the colonies. How many colonies were there in America?
13.
13. What was the first colony in America? Which was the first colony?
Jamestown.
Jamestown. Jamestown is also called
Virginia.
Virginia.
Virginia is the name connected to Queen Elizabeth. Jamestown is the name connected to King James. And the British established Jamestown or Virginia. Do you know the famous British admiral who, the sailor who established Jamestown? Everybody knows him.
Captain John Smith.
Walter Raleigh. Walter Raleigh established Jamestown. And then in the 17th century, a lot of people who were brought under religious persecution in Jacobean England left for America. They migrated to America. What are they called?
Frontiers.
17th century, from Jacobean England, people emigrated to America. What are they called?
Pilgrim Fathers. Pilgrim Fathers.
Pilgrim Fathers.
Pilgrim's Father.
In the 17th century, the Pilgrim Fathers came to America, and finally they established 13 colonies. And it was Benjamin Franklin who supported the cause of colonial unity. He has written literature also. Poor Richard Jack is his most well-known work. So this author is Benjamin Franklin. Did you like it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you read more?
Yes, ma'am.
Benjamin Franklin
We are
today?
enjoying, ma'am.
Whether you are students or teachers or researchers or whoever, will you please look up on Benjamin Franklin today?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Who is this author? Next question. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a man who came to America because Benjamin Franklin
Thomas
motivated
Paine.
him to go.
Thomas
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine was motivated, but was asked by Benjamin Franklin, don't stay in England, go to America, come to America, live with us. America needs you. And Thomas Paine came to America just before the revolution started. And he wrote one book that is supposed to have that is supposed to have led the Americans to revolt. American Revolution began because of this book, which sold in large number of copies. So
Rights of Man.
Rights of man.
Rights of Man.
Rights of man.
Common sense.
Common
common sense. First book that he wrote, the pamphlet that he wrote, that inspired the Americans to rise in revolution against the British. That is called Common Sense.
Yes.
Will you look up Common Sense? How many copies were sold? Will you look up? Millions of copies, I think. And after that, Thomas Paine wrote
Rights of Man.
Rights of Man.
Rights of Man.
Rights
Rights
of
of
Man.
Man was written against whom?
Edmund Burke.
Edmund Burke's reflection
Correct. Thomas Paine wrote
on the
Rights of Man
French
because, listen to me, because Edmund Burke attacked the French revolutionaries. Edmund Burke did not like the French Revolution. He did not believe in evolution. He believed in slow change. And many people wrote replies to Edmund Burke's reflections on the revolution in France. Most importantly, Thomas Paine and one more person. Who?
William Blake.
Wollstonecraft.
Mary Wollstonecraft.
Mary Wollstonecraft was a British feminist, proto-feminist writer.
William Godwin Paul.
Whose wife was she? Not daughter, wife.
Shelley.
William Godwin.
Sorry, William Godwin.
William Godwin and Mary Wollstonecraft were husband and wife.
Yes.
And their daughter was
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley.
their
Mary
son-in-law was
Shelley.
E.B. Shelley. Mary Wollstonecraft wrote a reply which is called Vindication of the Rights of Men.
Women.
Men.
Men.
Right, women against Edmund Burke. Against French Revolution, she wrote Vindication of the Rights of Men. Later, after that, the next year, she wrote Vindication of the Rights of Women. The singular, not plural, woman. Okay. Thomas Paine
Yes.
wrote Rights of Man. Thomas Paine emigrated to America in 1774 and became involved in American political life. He wrote the pamphlet Common Sense, which sparked off the American Revolution. Please switch off your mics. Even when you hold the phone and walk, etc., a lot of noise will come. So when you're speaking, only switch off the mic, switch on the mic. And he also wrote The Rights of Man and The Age of Reason. What is the theme of The Age of Reason? Wait, I'll give you options. Option A, science. Option B, philosophy. Option C, literature. Option D, theology.
Theology.
Correct.
Theology.
Correct. The Age of Reason is about religion and theology. Okay. The Rights of Man, The Age of Reason. This author is Thomas Paine. Did you like it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm teaching as if I'm teaching primary school students. University professors are angry with me. Why are you teaching like this? because when you are students, there is a child in you who is actually learning. The adult doesn't learn, I think. Only the child inside us learn.
Right.
That's true, ma'am.
And
We agree.
Very true.
And also, when I teach like this, it is easier on your brain. Instead of
Yes.
if I teach in a very high level
ma'am.
manner, you will feel
That is the reason we enjoy your class.
Yes, me too.
this is easy.
Wherever you give stress, we remember it.
I know.
That's true. I agree with you.
And also my gestures, my facial expressions, everything you will remember in the exam.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we should seriously explore the connection between histrionics and drama and dance and all that with teaching. There is a lot of things that we do in primary level that can also be done in adult level and which will make education better in many ways. Okay, so sometimes, you know, when students are really bored in offline classes, I even use Zumba and some dancing. I have done that. Okay, next question. Are you ready? Who is this author?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ta-dang.
Yes.
Any idea? Shall I give you a clue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
The father of American short stories.
Washington Irving.
Washington Irving.
Washington.
Washington Irving.
Washington Irving.
Yes.
Probably because his name is Washington, he has washed his clothes and he's wearing very white.
That's so funny. Yeah.
You know, really, such funny, stupid connections will help us remember in the exam.
Yeah, that's true, ma'am. That's true.
The father of American short stories. Before I showed this picture, or if I asked you without this activity, who's the father of American short stories? Many people will
Washington.
instinctively say Edgar Allan Poe. Remember, no. Washington Irving is called the father of American short stories. Edgar Allan Poe perfected the American short story. Did you understand? Do you know any famous short story by Washington Irving?
Rip
Van
Van
Winkle.
Sleepy
Winkle.
Hollow.
The
Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
and
Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle was apparently a lazy man who went and who did not do any work. His wife was angry with him always, and he went and slept, fell asleep on Catskill Mountains, and he couldn't wake up for 23 years. For 23 years, he lay there asleep. And after 23 years, he woke up and came, and everything had changed in his village. That is Rip Van Winkle. He wrote the sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon. So Geoffrey Crayon is the pen name that he used. What is another name for pen name?
Pseudonym.
Okay, another name, another word.
Nom de plume.
Nom de plume. Nom de plume. Correct. Okay, I will tell you pen names. You tell me the author's name. Okay.
Yes.
This is only an overview. That is why I am teaching at a very elementary level, just so that everybody can remember everything. Okay, I will tell you pen name. George Eliot.
Mary.
Evans.
Ah.
Mary Evans.
Mary Ann Evans.
Mary Ann Evans.
Mary Ann Evans. Voltaire. Voltaire.
Ah.
Francois something.
Francois.
Mary
Francois is pronounced Francois. Francois Marie Aru. Remember? My students, I told you yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Sylvia Plath. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, I understand everything. No problem. Tell me the pen name of Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath wrote The Bell Jar under which name?
Victoria Lucas.
Okay. Victoria Luca.
Correct. Victoria Lucas. Why did she use the pen name?
She didn't want.
She didn't want her mother to know.
Her mother was very angry that she wrote such a scandalous book about her family, and her mother did not want her to publish it. So she published it under a pen name. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Then Mark Twain.
Samuel
Langhorne
Langhorne
Clemens.
Clemens.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens. Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Yes.
Yesterday we talked about one person. Lewis Carroll.
Dodson.
Charles Dodson.
Charles Dodson.
Charles Dodson. Right. There are many more, but let us just move on. Washington Irving. And what is this geographic setting? So we are moving into 19th century now. There is a famous geographic setting in America which has given rise to a lot of the prairies. The prairies are grasslands.
Grass.
And naturally, when there is grass, the cattle, the bisons, etc., will graze here. So this is the land. The prairies are the place where the cowboys lived. The ranchers, the cowboys in America. Regions like Texas. Do you remember? And can you tell me any book where you see cowboys, any book or any film or anything, any literary work or movie where you see cowboys?
Pledges broke
The last
mountain.
of the Mohicans.
Yeah,
The last of the Mohicans.
There is a whole genre which is about cowboys and such kind of.
A Fistful of Dollars.
The Westerns. That is a genre.
Clint Eastwood did a lot of those things, right?
Clint Eastwood, yes. He was the most important Hollywood actor who did Westerns movies. The Western, that is called, that is the name of the genre. And in literature, you have frontier literature. Frontier literature is usually about cowboys and their encounters with Red Indians or the Native Americans. Did you understand? Frontier literature. What do you mean by frontier? What is frontier hypothesis?
The boundary between the Red Indian area and the British settled areas.
Yeah. Look at again the map of America. Are you looking at the map of America?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This part was where what happened? No, from your side, this part. From your side, this is right side for you, right? No,
Yes.
This is east for you, right? East.
Hmm.
In the eastern side, your side, in this part, all the settlements happened. If this is the map of America, Europe is here. From Europe, people came and settled down here. Here is New York. Did you understand? And the white settlements were separated from the western region or the forest, the region of the Native Americans by an imaginary line that is called the frontier. Frederick Jackson Turner, the historian Frederick Jackson Turner, said that this imaginary line keeps moving to the west. From your side, this is the west. And this imaginary line of frontier keeps moving to the west because the white settlements are growing. Did you understand?
Yes.
And this frontier is being pushed to the west. That is analogous to, that is directly proportional to the development of America. That is called the frontier hypothesis. The frontier hypothesis means that the imaginary line dividing the white settlements from the Red Indian or the Native American forest area, the west, is receding to the west. And that is analogous to the development of America. Will you remember that?
Yes.
So we have frontier literature in post-colonialism. Wherever white settlers are there, in Australia also, in New Zealand also, there is the frontier. And the frontier is also related to the contact zone. In post-colonialism, we have the term contact zone. Such terms they will ask in exams. Okay, you should know such terms also. So this is the prairie. In Canadian literature also, the prairie features. Prairie literature is there. Important writers are Margaret Lawrence. Have you heard of Margaret Lawrence? What is the region which she wrote about called? Margaret Lawrence in Canadian literature wrote about which region?
Manawaka.
Manawaka, the place where Margaret Lawrence, the place that she created is called Manawaka. Okay, and Margaret Lawrence is a prairie writer. Are you feeling bored? Some of you are feeling bored, I'm sure.
No, madam, no.
Never.
You're not?
Margaret Lawrence
But I
belongs
have
to
some other
Canadian.
name for you. No, don't worry. Who is, okay, let me proceed a little more. Who is this author? He
Dr.
wrote about the
Johnson?
frontier.
No.
Already
Cooper.
mentioned his word.
Cooper.
What's his name?
Cooper.
What Cooper?
James Fenimore Cooper.
What Fenimore Cooper?
James Fenimore Cooper.
James Fenimore Cooper.
James Fenimore Cooper. Correct. James Fenimore Cooper. Who wrote what?
The Leather Stocking Tales.
Leather Stocking Pentology.
Cooper's Hill.
The Leather
Cooper's
Stocking
Hill.
Tales. Pentology it is. It has 5 stories. 5 novels.
novels.
Yeah. So the Leather Stocking Tales is a group of 5 novels. And it contains the famous novel, The Last of the Mohicans.
The last.
He was one of the first American novelists to depict African American and Native American characters in his works. His most famous novels are the Leather Stocking Tales. This is James Fenimore Cooper. Do you know James Fenimore Cooper is often compared to a British writer. This British writer also wrote a lot of historical novels. He did not put his name in his novels at first. He wrote all his earlier novels anonymously. And he came to be called the Great Unknown.
Walter Scott.
All his novels
Walter Scott.
Walter Scott, yes. Walter Scott.
Historian.
Walter Scott. Is everybody getting it? Walter Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, Walter Scott is often compared to James Fenimore Cooper. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When you're actually teaching a class like this, I'm just telling you some general things. Now the thing is, a lot of you are interacting, a lot of you are not interacting, but you are alert and paying attention. But it is possible that some of you got bored. Some of you got bored because probably you don't like American literature, or you don't know American literature, or you are distracted by other things. In actual classes, what is important is you should have the list of students with you, the names and everything. And you can in between call the names and you can give people individual attention and ask them to answer. Because when you ask individuals to answer, the others will get time to think. Did you understand? It is a very good
Yes.
way of maintaining people's attention. So shall I call some students of mine and ask so that everybody will get a little time to think? Because otherwise somebody will quickly say the answer and you don't get time to think. From now on, don't answer, okay? I will call names. Only then you answer, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Randomly.
Okay, ma'am.
I know students' names and I know the names of people who have joined, other than students who have joined today also, some of them. I will call one by one. What is this event? Don't answer, okay? What is this event? A lot of people are doing something. What is this? Are they cultivating? Is this a farm? Some people are digging here. See, one pickaxe is raised. They are digging and they are collecting something, I think. What is all this? Let us look at this. Oh, it is near a river and this guy is collecting something from the river.
California
Hey,
gold rush.
don't say,
Gold something.
don't say, I will call. I know somebody is dying to answer. Subhash,
Look, how
Yes, ma'am.
can you answer?
I think is it a gold mine?
Gold mine, eh? You are very close.
Okay.
This is correct. And this is California. It happened in California. Latika, do you know?
Gold rush, ma'am.
Gold rush. Gold rush means gold was discovered lying in the soil and people rushed from all over America and even Europe. They caught ships and boats and everything and they went to California to collect gold. They were digging and lots of people got rich in this manner. And this gave rise to optimism in the Americans. Americans thought we are all equal, we will all be rich, we will all be successful. And this kind of optimism that the gold rush gave them gave rise to what?
American dream.
American dream. The optimism that the Americans got.
बात किया तुमसे? बात
gave
किया?
rise to the American dream. Okay, don't answer. I will ask individually. Nifa, are you there? Nifa? Nifa, do you know in which decade did the gold rush happen?
No, ma'am.
Samita, are you there? Rukma, I know you have logged in. Rukma, tell me, in which decade did the gold rush happen?
I forgot, ma'am.
Is it, okay, I'll give you clues. Is it 1820s? 1840s?
1848.
1840s, correct. 1840s. California gold rush happened in the 1840s. Okay. And after this, the American dream became a reality. Everybody began thinking, in America, everybody began thinking, we'll be rich, we'll be successful. Listen to me. And then there was a failure of the American dream. Pooja Vasudeva, do you know when was there a failure of the American dream? Pooja, are you hearing me? Richie, Shiva Shankar, Tanuja. When was the failure of the American dream? Raven.
Yes, ma'am.
When was the failure of the American dream?
1920.
1929, 1930s actually, because of the Great Depression.
Great Depression.
Because of the Great Depression, there was a failure of the American dream. Because remember, in Death of a Salesman, in Glass Menagerie, in Long Day's Journey into Night, in Streetcar Named Desire,
William
in so
Faulkner's
many
novel.
literary works like that, you see that people are losing jobs, they are disoriented, they are going crazy, they are drinking, they are committing suicide. This kind of disorientation in literature happened to characters in the Great Depression period as a result of the economic crash that happened in the stock market. Did you understand? And that led to the failure of the American dream. The American dream was created. The American dream means what? The dream that we will be successful, we will be rich, we are all going to be equal. And that happened because of the frontier, because of California gold rush. Okay. Yeah. In California, let me ask you another
क्या
question.
तुम कर सकते हो मैं सही होता रे
In California,
रात को लेके जा रहे
if
हॉस्पिटल
you are talking to your family members, will you please switch off your mic? Right. In California, there is a place called San Francisco. And in San Francisco, there is City Lights Bookstore. Which group of writers in America were associated with the City Lights Bookstore in San Francisco? Many of their works were published by the City Lights Bookstore. Now, in the 20th century, middle of 20th century. You know them.
Lost Generation.
No, that is earlier.
Beat generation
Any clue?
Beat Generation, the Beatniks.
Yes.
The Beatniks were associated with California, San Francisco, and they were associated with the City Lights Bookstore, which was run by one man called Ferlinghetti. Ferlinghetti. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right. What historical concept is associated with this picture? Ta-dang! You know this. I told you already.
Cowboys.
Huh?
Cowboys.
Yeah, cowboys. They usually oppress Native Americans. In the Udemy course that I'm offering, many of you have joined there. I have made a video on Buffalo Bills
Yes, ma'am.
by E. Cummings. That is about cowboy culture and all that. If you watch that video, you'll learn a lot about it. So cowboy culture, cowboys fighting the Native Americans, all that is related to the frontier. Did you understand? The frontier, the wild, wild west, and also the genre called the westerns.
Westerns.
Everybody remember? Somebody was telling us Clint Eastwood is the most important Hollywood actor. Today itself, what are westerns? Who is Clint Eastwood? Will you look up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? Please
Yes, ma'am.
understand that. It is a
Yeah, ma'am.
wonderful thing that is happening to our education in India. In India, education was suffering for many, many years. People were not taught everything properly. There weren't enough books that are suitable for us. Either books are very high or books are very low. Like that. So now, the exam also was not very, very good. Exam also did not actually find out who are the best people or the best teachers or anything. But now the nature of NET, the nature of PSC exams across the country, etc., is changing. The nature of the GATE exam, everything requires you to have real knowledge, not just mugging up something from books, but real knowledge from reading, from thinking. In the beginning, it is difficult. In the beginning, suddenly when you in the transition period, it is difficult. But it is good because the education system is changing. We are all going to be part of a better system. And we are all going to be better teachers. We are all, in the past 5, 6 years or 10 years, we have learned more than we were ever learning before that, isn't it? It is wonderful. So please do research a lot. Use your mobile phone to do research. Whenever you hear new things, don't think, yeah, I know, I have heard this before, and leave it like that. But look it up, read about it, watch YouTube videos, research on it. That kind of culture should develop. You should tell your children also to do that. When that kind of culture develops, it will become extremely easy for you to pass exams. Did you understand? It is very, very important.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is this author?
No.
Ta-dang! Is it Emily Dickinson?
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Oh, correct. Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Harriet Beecher Stowe. Yeah, you're right.
Lincoln said of her and the Civil War. This is the lady who started the Great War. Great War means Civil War. How
Yes.
did she start the Civil War?
Uncle
she
Tom's
got-
cabin.
Tom's cabin.
Uncle Tom's cabin.
Correct. By writing Uncle Tom's Cabin. By writing Uncle Tom's Cabin, she started the Great War or the Civil War. Because when she wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, everybody realized that it is wrong to dash. Everybody realized it is wrong to.
Slave trade.
It is wrong to.
Slave.
Have slaves.
Slaves.
Correct. It is wrong to have slaves.
Yeah.
So, when Harriet Beecher Stowe was writing, there was a movement against slavery, an anti-slavery movement that was raging in America. What is that movement called?
Abolitionism.
Abolitionism. Abolitionism was raging in America. Abolitionism means no slavery. We don't want slaves. All the states in the South of America practiced slavery because in the South of America, there were plantations. The northern states, on the other hand, were, tell me, complete.
Industrial.
Industrial.
Industrial, correct. The southern states were all plantation states or agricultural. They employed slaves. The northern states were all industrial. And the industrial states did not want slavery. So the northern states and the southern states fought in the
Civil War.
Civil War. The northern states and the southern states fought in the Civil War. And then what happened? Who won?
The northern states.
The northern states won. All this was because of one man. Who was that man?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham
Lincoln.
At the end of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was
Assassinated.
assassinated. So this is the time when Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. At the age of 40, she published her first novel. She looks like 15.
Yes.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. Have you read that book?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
If you haven't read, doesn't matter. You still have time to read. Which is this novel? Ta-dang!
Scarlet Letter.
Look at
Scarlet
it.
Letter.
Yes. Yeah.
Scarlet Letter. What is her name?
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
What is her
Esther Prynne.
You should say
Esther
Prynne,
Prynne. Esther Prynne.
Prynne, because Hawthorne is saying that Prynne, the name, rhymes with sin. He says that in the novel. So it should be pronounced Hester Prynne.
Okay, ma'am.
What is the name of Hester Prynne's daughter?
Pearl.
Pearl, correct, Pearl. So this novel is set in the 17th century in Boston during the time of the witch hunts. What is witch hunt? Where did it happen?
Salem.
Not Tamil Nadu Salem, but American Salem. In American Salem, the place called Salem. Where is that Salem? Near New York. In New England.
Massachusetts.
New England region, Massachusetts. Yeah. And there many women were accused of being witches and they were punished. And during that time, Boston. What kind of people lived in Boston? What religion?
Puritans.
Puritans.
Very strict about their religion and
Yeah, they were Puritans.
Puritans are very strict about religion and morality. Now, this novel forms part of what kind of romanticism?
Dark romanticism.
Correct.
Dark
This
romanticism.
novel forms part of dark romanticism. Dark romanticism. Gopika, are you online?
Yes, ma'am.
Ha, Gopika. Tell me, what is the name of Pearl's father?
Don't know, ma'am.
Who was Hester Prynne's partner in adultery? Do you know, Alida? Lismarin?
Dimmesdale.
Dimmesdale.
Dimmesdale. Correct. Arthur Dimmesdale. Arthur Dimmesdale. And who is Hester's husband? Neeraj, are you online? Shiba? Tirtha? What is the name of Hester's husband? He is acting, he is a physician, and like a leech, he is trying
Chillingwood.
Roger Chillingworth.
Arthur Chillingworth.
Roger
The
Chillingworth.
protagonist, Hester Prynne, is a sinner but very human. Even though she is a sinner, Nathaniel Hawthorne does not treat her as immoral. There are many novels like that where women are doing wrong things, but their choices are wrong. But that is because they are human, which is the famous novel where a woman is doing wrong things and being punished for it, but she is a heroine. I will give you the clue. Characters in that novel are Charles, then I can't remember the name.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay. It's okay.
S of the Ubervilles.
No, French.
French Lieutenant Women. John Fowler.
Yeah, French.
Madame Bovary.
It also is like that.
Madame Bovary.
Madame
Yes,
Bovary.
French.
What is the name of the man beginning with R?
Roth.
What? I didn't say that again. I didn't hear.
Rochester.
No.
No, that's
Rodolphe.
Rudolf Boulanger. Yes, Rudolf Boulanger. What is the name of the other man in Paris? He's studying to be a law clerk. With these two men, she commits adultery. The other man. No,
Charles?
not Hermes.
Charles Bowery.
Charles is the husband.
Justine.
The other boyfriend. Leon Dupas.
Leon.
Dupas and Rudolf Boulanger. Correct.
Yes.
So, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Madame Bovary, Anna Karenina are all novels like this, where women are doing wrong things, but they are treated as very human. It's normal like that. The Puritan society's hypocrisy is exposed. So, Nathaniel Hawthorne is a dark romantic. Who is the other dark romantic that you know?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Correct. Edgar Allan Poe. What is the name of Edgar Allan Poe's book of short stories?
Tale of Grotesque and Arabesque.
Yes.
Wow. Tales of the Grotesque and Arabesque. Correct. Tales of the Grotesque and Arabesque. Which is this novel? Next one. Are you bored?
No, madam.
No, ma'am.
If you are sleeping.
Not at all.
Ta-da! Oh, what is this?
Moby Dick.
Moby Dick.
Look at the veil in his eyes.
Mhm.
How do you know it is Moby Dick?
Because it's
Captain's cap is there.
Captain.
Correct. Captain Ahab is a monomaniac. You should all be monomaniacs. Single-minded pursuit of UGC NET and JRF and Professor Job, etc. Will you promise me you'll all be like Captain Ahab?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So, Captain Ahab is a monomaniac, tragically in pursuit of the white whale. The narrator is Ishmael. What is the opening
Ishmael.
line?
Call me Ishmael tonight.
Call me Ismail.
Call me Ishmael.
Is the
He signs
famous
in for a
line.
whaling voyage in the 1840s with the ship Pequod. And
Pequod.
finally, there is a shipwreck. The white whale wrecks the ship Pequod. And only one man survives. Who is that man?
Ishmael.
Ishmael, because he tells the story. If he dies, how can he tell the story?
Yeah.
If you are on Udemy course, you should definitely watch the video series I've made on Moby Dick. It's awesome. I sat and read the book. It is impossible to read all that. It's so like a whale. The book is huge.
Yes.
Okay, you will feel like reading the novel when you watch the video. If you're there, watch it.
Yes, ma'am.
At the end, Ishmael is the only survivor. Which ship saves Ishmael?
Rachel.
Rachel. Correct. Rachel. Oh my God. So much we have covered, haven't we?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel
Yes.
like that, Simi? So much we have covered. Oh my God. What are other adventure stories that you know like this in literature?
Robinson Treasure Island.
Robinson Crusoe. Okay.
Old Man and the Sea.
Old
Huckleberry
Old
Finn.
Man and the Sea.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn. Okay. Huckleberry
Flanders.
Finn. Listen to
Gulliver Travel.
Yes, Gulliver's Travels. Enough. Listen to me. Huckleberry Finn, Moby Dick, and Scarlet Letter. These are called the pillars of American literature. These are called the pillars of American literature. They are fundamentally American. They show American consciousness. Will you remember?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you please
Yes,
repeat
ma'am.
it one more time?
Yeah, ma'am.
Huckleberry
Please
Finn, Moby Dick.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter.
Only three. Scarlet Letter, Moby Dick, Huckleberry Finn.
Okay.
Robinson Crusoe is written by
Daniel
Daniel
Defoe.
Daniel Defoe. Robinson Crusoe also I have made in Udemy. Robinson Crusoe wants adventure and his father says, don't go. The middle class people do not go in search of adventure. Stay at home. But Robinson Crusoe wanted to. And he got into this shipwreck and he was stranded on an island and he lived there for how many years?
2 years, 2 months.
No. That is
28.
28.
Yeah.
Oh my God. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days is Walden.
Walden. Right.
And this guy so painstakingly built the entire middle class civilization in that island. Everything that he left behind, he made in that island. And then he met a cannibal, savage called whom? What did he call him?
Friday.
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. Friday.
Yeah. Old Man and the Sea has the protagonist. Who wrote it? Old Man and the Sea.
Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway belonged to which group of writers?
Lost Generation.
Listen to me. Lost Generation is the group of writers who came after the First World War. Okay, First World War, after the First World War, before the Second World War, Lost Generation writers came. Sanjeevani, do you know who coined the term Lost Generation?
Gertrude Stein.
Gertrude Stein. Gertrude Stein. Don't say stain. Stain means dog.
Yes. The
Stein.
spots.
Gertrude Stein coined the name Lost Generation. Okay. Then who is the protagonist in Old Man and the Sea?
Santiago.
Santiago. From which country?
Santiago.
From which country?
Cuba.
Cuban fisherman.
Cuban fisherman he is. What is the capital of Cuba? Havana. There is a man who wrote a book, Our Man in Havana. It's a spy novel.
It's
No.
it's
Graham Greene. Before it.
Right.
What?
Graham Greene.
Graham Greene.
Graham Greene wrote Our Man in Havana. Okay, then the next adventure story you told me was Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn is a sequel to
Tom Sawyer.
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer.
Who wrote it?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. Why did he call himself Mark Twain? What is the meaning of Mark Twain?
It is more than 12 feet deep.
Yeah. It is a measurement in seafaring.
Yes.
Number 2.
Then listen to me. In Huckleberry Finn, which region is depicted?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
With whom is Huckleberry Finn traveling down the Mississippi River?
Jim.
The
Negro friend of
An escaped slave.
Yes.
Jim is a runaway slave. Right. So this is Moby Dick. Who is this author?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, there was a movie about Edgar Allan Poe in Netflix. Did you watch it?
No, man.
What is the name of the movie? I watched it. About Edgar Allan Poe, one movie is there. Search in Google, you will find out.
Okay.
All these general knowledge you should have. It is not enough to just study the text. Everything you should know.
The Raven.
Is it called The Raven, the movie?
The Raven is the name of his poem.
Yeah.
The Raven.
It's a series, sorry, not movie. It's a The Raven is the series. Yeah, correct.
Yes.
The Raven is the series also. He is a pioneer of American short story. He also wrote detective fiction. Which story by Edgar Allan Poe is called the first detective story?
The murder of Rue Morgue.
Murders in the Rue Morgue. Murders in the Rue Morgue. Correctly, you should know the title. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a dark romantic who wrote Gothic short stories. Who are other Gothic writers?
Horace Walpole.
Horace Walpole.
Radcliffe.
He wrote
Anne Radcliffe.
Mary Shelley.
Clara Reeve.
Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker. Clara Reeve has elements of Gothic novel. Okay. Then
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley. Then more.
Horace Walpole.
Mary
Greg Monk.
Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily Bronte. Matthew Gregory Lewis. Wrote The Monk.
A monk.
Then
Vathek.
William Beckford, who wrote Vathek.
The Vathek, yes.
Then Charles Maturin, who wrote Melmoth the Wanderer.
Yes.
Even Jane Eyre has Gothic elements.
Dorian Gray. Is
Turner Smith. Charlotte Turner Smith.
Charlotte Turner Smith also has elements of Gothic novels. Dorian Gray has elements, not completely Gothic novel. Okay. Who coined the term female Gothic? Because women are the readers, the characters. It is a women-centered kind of writing. Who coined the
Ellen
term
Moore.
female Gothic?
Ellen Moore.
Ellen Moore.
Ellen Moore. This is Edgar Allan Poe. Who is this author? Ta-dang!
Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, correct. I think Raven has met all these people. That is why he's able to identify all of them. Tell us the truth.
Right.
Where did you-
madam.
See, he was his friend actually. All of them were his friends. He must have had a tea with them.
Did you go to school with Emerson? Tell us the truth. He is a major figure in 19th century. One philosophical movement. Which movement is he major?
Transcendentalism.
Transcendentalism. And then his friend, the younger friend Thoreau, lived where? 2 years, 2 months, 2 days?
Walden.
Emerson caught the optimistic mood of America in his works. Tell me the names of some of his essays.
American Scholar.
Self-reliance.
The American Scholar, Self-Reliance.
Politics.
Brahma is a poem, not an essay.
Politics.
Politics. Nature.
Representative man.
Representative man. Politics, I don't know. Politics is there.
The poet.
Wow. He developed the concepts of oversoul. That is also the name of an essay. Oversoul.
Yeah.
And self-culture movement. Ta-dang!
Yes.
Ralph Waldo Emerson. And ta-dang! Can you guess whose picture I will show?
Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau.
Walt Whitman.
No, Henry David Thoreau.
Henry
Actually,
David
I was
Thoreau.
saying Thoreau, but what Raven is saying is correct. It should be pronounced Thoreau. Americans say Thoreau.
Thoreau.
Arey, you go to barber shop. Do you have lockdown or what? A major figure in transcendentalism. He was a devoted abolitionist.
Yes.
Spent 2 years in a pond. Yo, not in a pond, near a pond. He spent 2 years near a pond. Near Concord in Massachusetts. You see, this place Concord was associated with the transcendentalists. Our Thoreau was born in Concord. You should know about places very much. It's very important and easy to remember novels if you know about places. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And this is Henry David Thoreau.
Background loving.
Tell me, who is this? Another man who needs barber shop.
Walt Whitman.
Whitman.
Walt Whitman.
Walt
Yes.
Whitman, one of the
Right.
greatest of American writers. He was inspired by Emerson, one of the first poets to use free verse. What is another name for free verse?
Blank verse.
Blank verse.
No. Blank verse and free verse are two different things. Free verse is writing in whatever way you want. Verse libre.
Verse libre. Yeah.
Verse libre. He was one of the first poets to use free verse. Tell me the name of the book that he wrote.
Leaves
Leaves of the grass.
Song of myself.
Song of myself.
Leaves of Grass.
Memoranda during the war.
Oh.
When Lilacs last in the...
Oh, Captain.
That is
These are all
Elise.
poems, Leaves of Grass. Afrin, are you here, Afrin?
Yes, ma'am.
Afrin, tell me, do you know in which year Leaves of Grass was published?
Oh my God.
1855.
It's in ma'am.
1855.
Is your name Afrin, Raven? 1855 is correct. Another book was published in 1755. Which is that book?
John.
Johnson.
Diction.
Correct. Dictionary.
Yes, dictionary.
Johnson's dictionary is correct.
Right.
Johnson's dictionary was published in 1755. Samuel Johnson's.
Yes.
Shankar, are you there, Shankar? What did Samuel Johnson write? Tell me names of 10 books. Okay, anyone? Ria, you can also say Ria.
Lives of Poets.
Yes.
He wrote Lives of the Poets. Samuel Johnson wrote Lives of the Poets.
Prelude to Shakespeare.
Preface. Yes.
He wrote, he brought out an edition of Shakespeare and he wrote Preface to Shakespeare. Then Rochelle, are you there, Rochelle? What other works did Samuel Johnson write? London. Vanity of Human Wishes.
Irene.
Irene is a play. He wrote all the essays in The Rambler. And he wrote The Prince of The Prince of Abyssinia.
The Life of Savages.
Not savages. Savage.
Rassalas, ma'am.
Rassalas. Listen to me. Listen. Stop. Listen. Life of Savage. Savage is the name of a poet. Richard Savage. It is not savages. Okay. Rassalas, the Prince of Abyssinia. Also he wrote. And our Walt Whitman published only one major work. So you were telling me the names of his poems. What are they?
Oh, Captain, my
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
My Captain, then.
Out of the cradle.
Out of the cradle, endlessly rocking, then.
Song of the Open Road.
Crossing Brooklyn Ferry.
Green Ferry.
Open Road, I don't know.
Passage to India.
Song of the Open Road. A Song of Myself is there.
Passage to India.
Passage to India.
Noiseless Spider.
Give me this
William
splendid
Foster
song.
got the title of Passage to India from
when the lilacs bloomed in my body.
so many poems, and his most important feature was spirit of individualism, democracy.
Gift outright.
Gift outright is another poem, yes. So that is Walt Whitman. He was a fierce advocate of freedom. Who is this author?
Emily Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson. What is the other name by which she is called?
Nun of Amherst.
The
Amherst.
Nun of Amherst. Tell me the names of her poems.
Because I could not stop for death, that stopped for me.
Because I could not stop for death.
That's
Life closed twice before its
Loaded
closed.
gun.
Life closed twice before it's closed.
This is my letter to the world. Buddy, who are you?
I heard a fly buzz when I died.
This is
I-
my letter to the
I
world.
dreamed that first Robin.
A bird came down the walk.
tribute to Papa.
Okay.
This is my
Begins
letter
in
to
the
the world.
Loaded.
So, I'm sure all of us have studied at least 4 or 5.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very, very important. Emily Dickinson in American literature. And what are her major themes?
Death.
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 Death,
That
Life.
Solution.
Immortality.
mortality. Then
hopelessness.
Nature.
hopelessness.
Struggle.
She always
Confessional
talks
poet.
about death like a lover, isn't it?
Love for death.
She is called the
Immortality.
immortality. She is called the Nun of Amherst. She wrote about 1,700 short poems, but only a few were published during her lifetime. And she wrote about love, death, nature, we forgot, immortality, questioned established religion, authority. Do you like Emily Dickinson's poems?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
I love it.
Don't?
No.
It's okay. It's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so real.
Very real. Also. Atira, do you know who wrote an elegy for this man?
Yes.
Walt Whitman.
Whitman, yes.
Hey, Captain, my captain.
Lilac for
Lilacs.
Lilacs.
Lilacs lost in the dooryard bloomed.
Right.
So beautiful, right? These lilacs.
Just like you.
Wow.
Lost in the dooryard bloomed. He is comparing the color of the lilacs to crucifixion and also to new life in that poem. Who is this character? You know him?
Tom Sawyer.
Yes.
Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn, ma'am?
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry.
Of Huckleberry Finn.
A boy with lowest background.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn.
Correct. He's intelligent, fiercely independent. He values friendship and humanity. He's a quintessentially American character. You see him on a journey down the Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Did you read the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a wonderful novel. If you want to read, you can read it. Then, who is this author? Poet
Robert
from New
Robert
England.
Robert Frost.
Robert
Yes,
Frost.
yes.
He was regarded as
Robert
a
Frost.
national poet.
Robert Frost.
Got Pulitzer Prize 4 times
4 times.
for
Frost.
poetry. Eugene O'Neill got Pulitzer Prize for drama 4 times.
Yes.
Okay, tell me the names of his poems.
Because I could not stop.
Home.
No.
Two roads
By the
diverged.
woods on a snowy evening.
Not taken.
Birches.
Shopping by
Birches.
evening.
The mending wall.
Not taken.
Birches.
Huh?
New Hampshire.
Birches.
Shopping by
Birches.
woods on snowy
Mending
evening.
wall.
New Hampshire.
Mending wall. Birches.
Shopping by woods on a snowy evening.
Yeah. Okay, great.
We are 7.
These woods are lovely,
We Are
dark and
7 is
deep.
by William Wordsworth.
Yes.
Home burial.
Robert Frost.
Home burial, correct. Which early 20th century movement is this? Ta-dang!
Jazz. Jazz. Harlem.
Harlem.
Harlem
Renaissance.
Harlem Renaissance.
Renaissance. Okay.
Wait, I will ask you, let us play another game along with this now. Otherwise, some people will be bored. Now we have reached the 20th century. We'll play a game along with this. The game is, I will tell you some sentences. Some of these sentences will be wrong. Some will be correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to tell me which is true, which is false. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The name Harlem Renaissance got another name from an anthology published by Alain Locke.
New Negro movement.
New Negro Movement. The name New Negro Movement came from an anthology published by Alain Locke. True or false?
True. True, ma'am.
Everybody?
True. Published in 1925.
Is it true? Everybody? True. Correct.
True.
Yes,
Okay.
true.
In Harlem Renaissance, there was a writer, Richard Wright. He wrote Invisible Man.
False.
False. The
False.
native son.
False.
False.
False. Richard Wright wrote Native Son. Invisible Man is written by
Ralph Ellison.
Ralph Ellison. The Harlem Renaissance leader Langston Hughes was a major novelist.
No, he's a poet.
False.
The Harlem Renaissance leader Langston Hughes was a major novelist. True or false?
False.
Poet.
False. He's a poet.
Right to America.
Then the Harlem Renaissance writer Zora Neale Hurston wrote A Raisin in the Sun.
False.
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 Hansberry.
False.
Lauren Hansberry.
Jane Hansberry wrote A Raisin in the Sun. Zora Neale Hurston wrote
Their eyes were watching.
Watching the God.
Their eyes were watching God.
God.
Those who, some of you are doing BA, some of you have just started your MA. You may not have heard many of these names. Don't panic. This is only an overview class. I am not teaching anything. I'm just reminding you of a lot of things and helping you to find out names and keywords that you can use for your own research. When you study, the first thing that you have to do is hear all these names. That is what is happening now. If already you have studied it, then you are revising. If you have not studied it, doesn't matter. You can study after this. So don't worry, don't panic. When everybody is saying too many answers, don't panic. Just let everything enter your mind. Realize that so many writers are there, so many movements are there. So when I teach American literature in detail, over 5-6 days, I will teach American literature little by little in great detail. At that time, you will be able to remember all this and understand. Do you understand? That is the purpose. Now, when did the Harlem Renaissance come into prominence in American history? Which decade?
1920s.
20s.
1920s.
1920s. And this is also called what age? 1920s.
Roaring 20s.
The Roaring
20s.
20s.
This is also called what age?
Beat generation.
No. Beat generation is 1950s.
Okay.
Jazz age. This is also called
Jazz
age.
Poetry.
At this time in early 20th century in America, there were writers like Jack London, Theodore Dreiser, Frank Norris, early 20th century. They belonged to which movement?
Online class.
Jack London, they belonged to which movement?
Naturalism. Jazz movement.
Naturalism, correct. Realism gave to naturalism. In America, European literature, my classroom students, Yesterday we talked about a naturalism book.
Nana.
Nana. Who's the author of Nana?
Emile Zola.
Emily
Zola. Emily Zola.
Today we are talking about American
Right.
naturalism.
Emily Zola.
Yeah, when I am speaking, please listen. In America, naturalism was a great movement, which was a very big movement. Naturalism is the idea that human beings or animals or characters are products of their environment. Characters are created by their environment. Characters are the result of their situations. Why they have certain behavior is because they come from such and such situations. So characters are presented as products of their environment. That is what happens in naturalism, which is Jack London's famous novel,
White Fang.
The Call of Wild.
The
The Call of the Wild, and its sequel, White Fang. Both
White
are
Fang.
famous.
Yes.
The Call of the Wild and White
White
Fang.
Fang.
Both novels are famous. In The Call of the Wild, who is the protagonist?
Buck.
Buck.
Buck, correct.
Buck.
Buck is a dog. Buck is
Dog.
a dog. Okay. During the World War, again, I will continue playing the true and false game, okay? After this, Harlem Renaissance. Which movement had this anthology?
Imagism.
Correct. Imagism. Imagism. Okay. Let me ask you some questions about imagism. Imagism was formed in America. True or false?
True.
False.
False.
Imagist movement was formed in America. True or false?
False.
France.
Anglo-American poetry, part of
France.
Anglo-American poetry.
It is in Anglo-American movement, but it was indeed formed in America at the University of Pennsylvania, where Ezra Pound, Amy Lovell, etc. met for the first time. It was indeed formed in America because Ezra Pound is American. Later he emigrated. Ezra Pound, T.S. Eliot, etc. Migrated to England. They are originally Americans. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Imagist movement was, it began in 1922. True or false?
False, ma'am.
Some of your falses are very long. False.
Early 20th
False,
century
ma'am.
movement.
1912.
1922, modernism began, imagism began at that time? Probably, yes.
Early 20th century.
1917, 1940.
1940s. 1940s.
Actually, it is 1912.
1912.
Okay.
Yeah, early 20th century.
Correct. 1912, imagism started. Ezra Pound laid out 30 principles of imagist poetry. Correct or wrong?
No.
Why? Ezra Pound laid out 30 principles of imagist poetry.
False, because only three
False.
principles of
3
images.
principles of images.
Correct. Only 3 principles are there. 1 0 I added on my own.
Creativity.
Ezra Pound's famous poem In a Station of the Metro has 30 lines.
No.
No, 14 words.
14.
30 lines.
Correct, 14 words. What is that poem? Recite that poem.
Metro.
No, some faces, something like that.
Apparition of these
Apparition of these faces.
Metro station.
Red, black.
On a wet
black.
black bow.
Listen to me, everybody. Apparition of these faces in the crowd. Petals on a wet black bough. Poem is over. During my BA days, I went and looked at so many books in the library trying to find the rest of the poem.
Same thing happened with me
I
too, ma'am.
spent all my time in the library, and I did not know this is. Oh, sorry, not this poem. It was Red Wheelbarrow. It was Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rain beside the white chickens. Have you heard it, Latika? Have you heard that poem? Your video is on. Okay. So, Red Wheelbarrow poem is: so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Yes.
Yeah. And another question, let me ask you. William Carlos Williams is an imagist poet. True or false?
Yes.
Yes,
True.
yes.
True.
Obviously, he
True.
wrote Red Wheelbarrow.
True.
D.H. Lawrence is an imagist poet.
True.
No.
False.
False.
Not completely false.
False.
He's also an image. He was there in that movement. He is not completely out of it.
50%.
James Joyce, D.H. Lawrence, etc. Some percentage they were in it. Okay. Then Gertrude Stein. Gertrude Stein, true or false? Okay. Gertrude Stein coined the term lost generation.
True.
Gertrude Stein coined the expression, what is in a name?
True.
No, it is from
No,
Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
False.
Gertrude Stein coined the phrase, a rose is a rose is a rose.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a rose, it's a rose.
Gertrude Stein was an art collector.
True.
Maybe.
True.
Maybe it's true.
No, it's true.
Very true. And in her Parisian house, our Ernest Hemingway, Pablo Picasso, Ezra Pound, so many people like that used to get together. She was like a leader of all these modernist writers in Paris. All of them had gone to Paris because Paris was more free. And in their own countries, they were being banned and they were being persecuted by the government. So they went to Paris. Now, which is this novel? So many pictures are there on the screen. Ta-dang!
Moby Dick.
Old man.
Dick.
Old man. Yes.
Interesting quote, eh?
Old man and
Old man this week.
Old man and the
What
sea.
is the name of this fish?
Marlin. Giant Marlin.
Marlin. Correct.
Marlin.
M-A-R-L-I-N. What is the name of Santiago's friend?
Mannerin.
Manner.
Manilin.
Mannerin.
Yeah, he doesn't accompany Santiago on this day. How many days did Santiago go fishing?
it's 84.
84.
84. And how many days did he remain on the sea? 3 days.
2 days.
When he caught this mark,
82.
he did 3 days. And what did he bring home?
Just a skeleton.
Skeleton of the
flesh
fish.
of the marlin.
The sharks ate the flesh of the marlin.
Correct. The sharks ate the flesh of the marlin. Santiago likes which sports? Baseball is correct. He always talks to Manilin about baseball. Who is the author of this novel?
Ernest Hemingway.
Yes, Hemingway.
Ernest
Ernest
Hemingway.
Hemingway.
What kind of a hero is Santiago?
Persistent.
Code hero.
Hemingway hero. There is the term Hemingway hero, right?
Code hero.
What is code hero? Probably it is correct. I don't know. There are so many things I don't know. Tell me, what is code hero? We should look it up anyway. Hemingway hero means a man who cannot be defeated. A man can be destroyed but not defeated.
Yes.
That is Hemingway hero.
That's
The
the
old
same,
man
ma'am. It's Hemingway Code Hero.
Oh, so tell me, what are the other works by Hemingway?
And also
Farewell to the Arms.
Also rises.
The Sun Also Rises is the first novel. Farewell to
Fell
Arms.
to the arms.
Farewell to Arms.
For whom the bell tolls.
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Green Hills of Africa.
Green Hills of Africa.
Movable Feast.
What was it? I didn't hear.
Movable Feast.
A movable feast.
In the afternoon.
Then
Cat in the rain.
Death in the afternoon.
death in the afternoon. Okay.
Cat in the rain.
Cat in the rain. Actually, I don't know. Now people are asking me where is Zoom link. They didn't see probably. My mistake. I should have added everywhere. Okay.
Winner takes nothing.
Oh, I don't know about that either. There are so many books he wrote. Finally, how did he die?
Suicide. He committed suicide.
Oh, he committed suicide. Correct.
Oh.
What did Margaret Lawrence? She got cancer and she committed suicide.
Oh my God.
Who is this character?
Oh my God.
Fully
Emperor
dressed.
Jones. Emperor Jones.
Correct. He is fully dressed in emperor's clothes and he's going to run. Emperor Jones. Who wrote the novel? Sorry.
O'Neill.
Eugene O'Neill.
Eugene O'Neill.
Eugene O'Neill.
Eugene O'Neill.
Eugene O'Neill. Eugene O'Neill was the first American writer to introduce African American characters on stage in the central role. It is a play loosely based on an event from Haitian history. The story is set in an unnamed Caribbean island. This character is a symbol for the debased community. Emperor Jones. What is his real name?
Brutus Jones.
Brutus Jones.
Brutus Jones.
What is the Englishman who is there with Emperor Jones in that island? What is his name?
Smithers.
Smithers. What is the name of the leader of the natives? Lem. What are the natives beating? That is like the heartbeat.
Bell.
Tom Tom. Which social movement does this signify? Ta-da!
Existentialism.
Nine.
Expressionism.
Expressionism.
No, I'm actually asking next question. What is Emperor Jones? Emperor Jones has expressionism, but I'm asking what is this?
Stock market.
What does this picture signify?
The Great Depression.
Great
It says,
Depression.
why can't you give my dad a job? Why can't you give my dad a job? That means
Great Depression.
Great Depression.
unemployed. Many people became unemployed at this time. Great Depression. In which decade did Great Depression happen?
1920.
30s.
50s.
No, 1930s. Quiet. It started in 1929 and it was in the 1930s that the Great Depression happened. You know what happened? There were mainly some industries in America at this time, the automobile industry, the radio industry, and these industries made a lot of money, but the money was made, based on a very unscientific system. There was the installment scheme buying at this time. So the whole economy was based on money that will come only in the next 10 or 20 years. Did you understand? So this Great Depression really affected all the people in America and England when the stock markets crashed in 1929. A lot of people went unemployed and they were disoriented and dissatisfied with life, disappointed. And this led to the failure of the American dream. A lot of literary works are based on the Great Depression, such as Death of a Salesman, very important. Who wrote Death of a Salesman?
Arthur Miller.
Arthur Miller. Who wrote The Glass Menagerie and The Streetcar Named Desire?
Tennessee Williams.
Tennessee Williams.
Who wrote Long Day's Journey into Night?
Eugene O'Neill.
Correct. Eugene O'Neill.
Eugene
Who
O'Neill.
wrote The Grapes of Wrath?
John Steinbeck.
That is also based on Great Depression. Who wrote The Sound and the Fury?
William Faulkner.
William Faulkner. All these are Great Depression works. Next, which catastrophe does this signify? Oh, so much. What is it? Smoke or some wind?
Nuclear bomb or something?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the nuclear bombs were
The nuclear bomb does not burn.
nuclear attack.
Listen to me.
No, this is not nuclear attack.
Pearl Harbor.
Will you keep quiet and let me explain? The nuclear bomb always bursts high up in the air, many kilometers above. This is actually not a bomb or anything. This is a storm. This is the dust storm that happened in the Oklahoma region. Remember, we are studying American literature. Why would I show? I can show nuclear bomb because America bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Well, it is famously nuclear bomb gives rise to mushroom cloud. Okay, not like this. So this is the dust storm in Oklahoma region. In Southern American state of Oklahoma, there was a dust storm and lots of agriculture got destroyed. This is called the Dust Bowl. Dust Bowl. I told you Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. It is actually part of the Dust Bowl trilogy. Dust or earth, actual earth started flying about and people couldn't see, people couldn't travel, agriculture got destroyed. Lots of people left Oklahoma and went to California. Where is California? In the West. In the West, remember San Francisco, California. I told you California gold rush. I told you if this is where all the settlements happen, if this is where all the settlements happen, this is the West. Did you understand? So
Yes.
this is the Dust Bowl, and John Steinbeck wrote Dust Bowl trilogy. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this author? This is the author.
Arthur Miller.
And who is this?
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
For some years, Arthur Miller was married to Marilyn Monroe. Arthur Miller, a major playwright of the Depression era, his masterpiece, which is that Death of a Salesman, depicts the failure of the American dream. What is the name of the protagonist in Death of a Salesman?
Willy Loman.
Willy Loman.
Willy Loman.
Willy Loman. What happens to him at the end of the play?
He commits
Suicide. He
Commits
died.
suicide in a car crash.
How
What is the name of his son on whom he dotes? He thrusts all his dreams upon his eldest son. What is that son's name?
Biff Loman.
Biff
Loman.
Biff Loman. What happened to Biff when he was in school? He failed in which subject?
Maths.
Maths. Now he's a kleptomaniac and he's stealing from wherever he's working, etc. And it is a very, very famous play. And it was this man was put under trial because it was considered an un-American play. Did you understand? This play, Death of a Salesman, was criticized as un-American. This is Arthur Miller. Can you name other plays by Arthur Miller?
After the Fall.
All My Sons.
After the Fall, All My Sons. The Crucible. Yes. And which is this play?
Glass Menagerie.
Look at the glass animals. Look at all the glass animals and look at how many characters are there in Glass Menagerie?
Four.
Only 4 characters. Who is the author of Glass Menagerie?
Tennessee
Williams.
Tennessee Williams is correct. What is this character's name? She collects glass
Rose.
animals.
Rose.
Laura. And she gets a gentleman caller. One man comes visiting. She rarely gets a gentleman caller because she is a cripple, because she has to wear braces on her legs because one of her legs is shorter than the other. Today we don't say the word cripple, but the play uses the word cripple. And she is also very, very shy. She is socially also handicapped and she cannot behave normally to everybody. She faints easily. She falls ill. And this guy, Jim, meets Laura and makes Laura realize that she is a beautiful woman. And then in the play, what happens to the unicorn?
It breaks.
The horn breaks. The horn of the unicorn breaks. Why? Because they start dancing and they push the table and it falls. Apart from the unicorn and glass animals, what else does Laura like? She likes listening to old records. This play is called a what play?
Memory play.
Because the whole play happens in the memory of Laura's brother, Tom Winkle.
Ma'am, there's a Malayalam movie Agale.
Agale. Sheila and Prithviraj acted in it.
Yes.
By Shyama Prasad.
As Laura.
Agale.
Malayalam movie Agale.
Correct. Shyama Prasad sir is my next door neighbor. Gale. Which author created this fictional county? It has places like Jefferson.
Faulkner.
It is Yoknapatawpha County in Mississippi. These are the places where all these novels are set. Absalom, these are the novels of
Faulkner. William Faulkner.
If you are talking to your family members, will you switch off your audio? Very good. Okay, these are the novels by Faulkner. Absalom, The
Unvanquished, Sound and the Fury.
The Sound and the Fury, Hamlet.
Light in August.
Hamlet is written by Shakespeare. The Hamlet is written by
Faulkner.
The Hamlet. Here Hamlet means village. Light in August, correct. William Faulkner. Oh, that brings us to the end of this sharing game, but that doesn't matter. Now you can look at me for some time. Are you willing to look at me?
Yes, ma'am.
Or will you be
Yes,
bored?
ma'am.
Yes.
No, ma'am. No, we will not be
We don't
bored.
want to look at you.
We will not be bored.
Okay. Because I want to ask you about post-war American literature, true and false game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
American literature is deeply affected by or influenced by the Kuwait War that happened in the 1960s.
False.
False. Then what is correct? What war?
1960 civil.
1960s, not 1860s. 1960s, what war?
Vietnam War.
Vietnam War is correct. Vietnam
1964.
Vietnam War affected American literature because many Americans were against America's involvement in the Vietnam War. Okay? Now, Howl is a major poem of the Lost Generation. True or
No.
True.
False. Beat
Howl
Generation.
Howl is a major poem of the Lost Generation. True or false? Once more.
False. False.
False. Howl is by
Allen Ginsberg.
And he is a Beat Generation poet, not Lost Generation. Howl is a Beat Generation.
Beat Generation.
Yeah, Allen Ginsberg. The fictional novel On the Road was written by Jack Kerouac. True or false?
True.
It is not true. What is the mistake?
On the Road.
The fictional novel On the Road is written by, but you don't have to say fictional novel. The fictional work On the Road is written by Jack Kerouac.
Correct. True.
No.
True.
It is not a fictional work. It is based on an actual journey that Kerouac conducted with his friends. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. The Beat writer William S. Burroughs was a drug addict.
False.
Yes. True.
It is true. He was a drug addict. He wrote a lot about drug addiction also. The junkie.
Yes.
And William S. Burroughs' famous novel is Naked Girl. Monomita, glad to see you here. Monomita, tell me, is Naked Girl the famous novel by William S. Burroughs?
False.
Tell me the truth. It is false. It is not
False.
Naked Girl. It is Naked
Naked
Lunch.
lunch.
William S. Burroughs wrote Naked Lunch, not Naked Girl. You remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Robert Lovell was a major confessional poet.
True.
True.
Or false?
True.
True, ma'am.
True. Robert Lovell was the teacher of our Sylvia Plath and Anne Sexton.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Robert Lovell's famous book is Life Studies. True or false?
True.
Are you sure?
No, full name
Yes.
is something else.
Life studies.
True. Robert Lovell's
True.
famous book is Life Studies. It is
Life studies. True.
It is true. Hey, so many of you are keeping quiet. Everybody should say something. True or false, can't you say? Say true, false, something you say. Okay, this game is for everybody. Even if you are not from English literature discipline, you can still answer. Universal game. Okay, everybody should switch on your mics and say something. Ayo, there will be so much commotion. But as soon as I speak, you should keep quiet. Okay, otherwise people can't.
Actually, ma'am, I have not studied this much yet.
No problem. You can just say true or false.
Okay, ma'am.
When people who study do this in exam, this is a very important practice. A, B, C, D. Okay, C. Like this people are marking. A, B, C, D. Next time I won't mark C. I will mark B. Like that people are marking. Okay. Next important, next question. Anne Sexton is an important confessional poet. True or false?
True.
True.
Anne Sexton is an important
False.
poet. True or false?
True.
False.
True is the answer.
Yes.
Anne Sexton, Sylvia Plath, Adrian Rich. These are important confessional poets.
Emily Dickinson. No?
No. Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson wrote in a confessional style, but the 1950s confessional movement she did not belong to.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Adrian Rich was a famous feminist critic also. True or false?
Yes.
Yes.
True. She wrote the lesbian continuum.
Yeah, she wrote
The lesbian
compulsory heterosexuality.
Heterosexuality.
Existence.
Lesbian.
Compulsory heterosexuality and lesbian existence, where she talked about the lesbian continuum. The Bell Jar is a famous poetry collection by Sylvia Plath.
False.
No, it is
False.
semi-autobiography.
It's a novel.
No, it's not a
collection.
Okay, stop.
Novel.
Stop. It is false because Bell Jar is a novel, not poetry.
Novel.
Jar is a novel. Remember, she wrote it under the pen name Victoria Lucas.
Lucas.
Yes.
Victoria Lucas. Okay, next question is Saul Bellow was a famous Parsi writer.
Yes.
Ma'am, could you repeat the question?
Saul Bellow was a famous Parsi writer in America.
False. Jewish writer.
Not Parsi.
The Jewish writer.
Saul Bellow was a famous Jewish
writer.
in America. Jewish writer. The Adventures of Augie March was Saul Bellow's last novel.
False.
I am asking difficult questions, even if you don't know. Say true or false. Something you say.
False.
False.
First.
Adventures of Augie March is Saul Bellow's first novel.
Yes,
Not last novel. First novel. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Listen, everyone. Very important question. Herzog and Humboldt's gift are very major plays by Saul Bellow.
Novels. False.
Herzog and Humboldt's gift are very major plays by Saul Bellow.
True.
False.
False.
It is false because they are not plays, they are
Plays.
novels.
Novels.
Herzog and Humboldt's gift are novels.
Novels.
Next question. Don DeLillo is a very major postmodern writer in Britain.
False.
False.
False. He is a very major postmodern writer in America.
America.
Yeah, his name is not British.
Don DeLillo. Remember, eh? They will ask. Don DeLillo is a postmodern writer in America.
Postmodern writer in America.
He has written Cosmopolis, Americana,
Libra.
Underworld, White Noise. They are all very good. Next question.
It is yet to finish, but Anand sir felt bad.
If you are talking to your family, please switch off your mic. Next question.
His understanding is
Listen. Oh, so much talking you are all doing. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a novel by Ken Casey. Very famous American novel. Set in a prison.
No. Hospital.
No.
Hospital.
False.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
False.
Listen. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a novel by Ken Casey set in a mental hospital, which is like a prison. The nurse and the doctor, they are all like oppressive. And there is one man, the protagonist, McMurphy, who is completely disrupting the discipline of the mental hospital. And he is finally punished with lobotomy.
Like Salman Khan.
Okay, next question. J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye is about old people.
No.
Young.
It's about a teenager, not old people.
Holden Caulfield.
Holden Caulfield is a teenager protagonist. You are sneezing. I'm sure you got COVID now. Oh my God, you all got online COVID.
Oh my God, so funny.
The Catcher in the Rye is about Holden Caulfield, who is thrown out of his school and he is planning to run away. But on the way, he undergoes so many adventures that he decides, I'm not running away because the adult world is so bad. There is another famous American novel, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Harper Lee.
Listen, Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee is about hunting.
False.
No. It is a
Slavery.
narrated by a woman about her childhood and coming of age.
Yeah.
And it is centered on a trial of an innocent black man. Okay. Next question. Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita is a fictitious memoir of Lolita.
False.
Vladimir
It's a true account.
is a fictitious memoir of Humbert, who loves Lolita. All sorts of noises, please don't make. Only answer noise you should make. Okay, next question. Listen, very important question. This will come in the exam.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Norman Mailer and Truman Capote are writers who took fiction and made it into facts.
No, fact to fiction.
True.
Norman Mailer and Truman Capote took
Reverse
actual facts and turned
fact into fiction.
Fiction.
Norman Mailer and Truman Capote turned fact into fiction.
Into fiction.
Fact and fiction.
Next question. The famous novel Catch 22 is by
Joseph Heller.
Vonnegut.
Joseph Keller.
Joseph Heller.
Catch 22 is by Joseph Heller.
True.
The protagonist of Catch 22 is a school teacher.
False.
False.
Captain John Yossarian.
Yossarian.
Yosharian. Protagonist is
Captain
Yosharian.
John Yossarian is a pilot in the war. Not school teacher.
Pilot in the world.
War pilots. And every day somebody is demolishing their house and killing other people also, I think. Gunshots and sound of walls breaking down, everything we hear. Gravity's Rainbow. The narrative poem by Thomas Pynchon.
False. Correct.
It's a novel.
Gravity's Rainbow is
Novel.
a narrative
Novel.
poem.
False.
Not poem.
False.
False.
It is a novel. Isaac Asimov and William Gibson wrote detective fiction. Another matter.
False.
False.
Isaac
Science
Asimov
fiction.
and
Science
Gibson wrote what?
Science fiction.
Science fiction.
Science fiction is correct. The first novel by Maya Angelou is The Bluest Eye.
No, false.
Toni Morrison.
False.
Toni Morrison's first novel is Bluest Eye.
Bluest Eye.
Toni Morrison's autobiography is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
False.
False. Autobiography of
Maya Angelou's autobiography.
Maya Angelou's autobiography is I Know Why.
why the caged bird.
Maya Angelou coined the term womanism.
False.
False.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker coined the term womanism.
Womanism.
Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun is about a white family in a black neighborhood.
True. False. Black family moving to a white
Black family to white neighborhood.
Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun is about a black family moving to a white neighborhood.
Okay, yes.
Moving to white neighborhood. Okay.
Akakutil color Lorraine Hansberry wrote Phenomenal Woman.
No, false.
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou wrote Phenomenal Woman. Everything you are getting correctly. How come?
Because of you, ma'am.
Because of me. Wow.
Yes.
Then
Time.
I'm going to ask you a very difficult question. Toni Morrison wrote Beloved in an epistolary manner.
Yes.
False.
False. Not in a
Toni Morrison
epistolary.
wrote Beloved, but it is not epistolary.
Yes.
Maya Angelou's Color Purple is epistolary.
Yes.
Yeah.
False.
Yes. True.
False. Alice Walker.
The statement.
Alice Walker.
It is not Maya Angelou's. Alice Walker's Color Purple.
Colors purple. Yeah, in letter.
Purple.
If you
Letter
hear
to God.
half and then answer, this is what will happen.
Yes.
Seeley and Shug are characters in Sula.
Color purple.
Right.
Color
Purple.
Color purple.
Color Purple, not Sula. Seeley and Shug. Amiri Baraka wrote the play Dutchman.
Correct.
True.
True.
True. Leroy Jones.
Roy Jones or Amiri Baraka wrote the play Dutchman. Correct. Amy Tan is an Indian American writer who wrote The Bone Setter's Daughter.
No.
True. True. No, Chinese American writer.
Indian American.
Amy Tan is not Indian American, Chinese American.
Chinese American.
The Bone Setter's Daughter. Is there anybody keeping quiet? Everybody should open your mic and say something. Okay, true or
Yes,
false?
yes.
One of these you should say.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Nilanjana Sudeshna wrote The Interpreter of Maladies.
Oh, false.
True. Jhumpa Lahiri.
Sudeshna is the real name of Jhumpa
Jhumpa
Lahiri.
Lahiri. Yes, Nilanjana Sudeshna Lahiri.
Nilanjana.
Sudeshna Lahiri.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My daughter's name is Neelanjana. She came running hearing this voice, Neelanjana.
Really? Wow.
So cute.
Nilanjana, you're a wonderful girl.
Okay.
Jumba girl. Jumba.
Hello.
Say hi. You're so lucky for saying hi to Dr. Kalyani.
You should become a great writer, okay?
Wow. Say thank you. I'm so happy.
You don't have to become a writer if you don't want to. You should become a happy woman.
Okay.
Successful and happy woman. If you want to become a writer, no problem. Just because I said it, you don't have to be a writer.
So sweet.
You can be a painter or a musician or a dancer or anything you want.
Oh my God. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. For
Oh, she's so cute.
Bye.
Tata.
Okay. Now, Beatrice Culliton wrote the Native American novel Ceremony.
Correct. True.
False. Ceremony, some silk.
Written by Leslie
Some
Marmon
silko.
Silko.
Yes.
Leslie Marmon
Silko.
wrote Native American. So you have to study Native American literature also a little bit because they already asked once about ceremony. It is widely prescribed in universities.
Which one, ma'am?
Ceremony.
Ceremony.
Did you like the session?
Yes,
Very much, ma'am.
Very much. Very much.
Covered a lot, didn't we?
so many authors.
Yes. Will you go and do research on all these authors?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You should do research, read on your own. Then it is easy to remember. Otherwise, it is difficult to remember. People ask me, ma'am, how can you remember all this? I can remember because I did the research. If I don't do research, I can't remember. Did you understand? There is no substitute to reading. You should. You don't have to read whole books if you don't have time. But at least download books in Kindle or find books from libraries, etc. And at least read one chapter, a few pages. The taste of writers you should have.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you feel like it, read the rest of it also. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Rukma
ma'am.
is saying goodbye. Bye-bye, Rukma. We'll meet again. Okay. So I hope you liked it and you have benefited from it. Please understand that everything is here within you. You have it. Why you need me is I have to tell you that you can do it. That is why you need me. If I sit and do here, you are not going to benefit. I will become a greater teacher, that's all. If you work, you will become great people, great students, great teachers. Do you understand? I am the road and you are the car. I will show you the way, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting there. You are the one who is driving and your car is moving. If you switch off the car, don't blame the road. I can't do anything about it. Did you understand? If other cars are going at greater speed, it doesn't matter. Your car will also reach. All cars cannot reach at the same time. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
When you drive cars on the road, are you upset? Oh, so many other cars, their cars are bigger, better. Will you feel like that?
No.
You're happy because you have one car, drive it. That's all. So, all the best. We will meet again sometime like this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Boosted your studying. You don't have to be writing an exam in order to study. Even if you're not writing any exam, you should still study. Your life is not dependent on the exam. Your life is dependent here. If you are sincere to your work, jobs and other things will come to you. I promise you this. If you are not sincere, however much you work is useless. So bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for joining. I loved it too. I'm sure my students
Ma'am.
also loved it. And we will meet again as usual tomorrow. All the others, we will meet in social media somewhere. Bye.
Bye.
I'm ending the
Madam, good evening.
bye.
Madam, good evening.
Good evening and bye.